everybody's saying mid Slayer, you know, season 2 is shit, all this, all that.
Mhm.
In my mind, I'm like, okay, Demon Slayer fans' first filler episodes, you know? Boo-hoo, you know? What I hear is that they're just saving their budget.
I never thought about it that way.
Right? They saved their budget, and now everyone's like, oh, these episodes, this is so cool, this Demon Slayer's so cool. Shut the f*** up, you fake fan. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Uneducation Station. I am Arthur, and I'm with Zach, and we're back for episode 51, I believe.
Yeah. The episode 50 ended up kind of being different from what I expected it to be, but also at the same time, I think it was like a perfect.
I think so too. So did episode 50? We did record episode 50, right? That was Spoderman.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was pretty good. I mean, you know, it wasn't the episode 50 we wanted, but it was still a pretty good episode 50. So, you know, all things considered, yeah, I'd say it was pretty all right. We wanted to have like the, you know, a first 4-person shoot because we haven't done that yet, but that didn't really work out.
It's like herding cats.
Yeah, and then, you know, it just didn't work out. But I mean, we got to watch Spoderman kind of, you know, like last minute because we're a couple months late to it. And then by the time the episode actually goes up, which would be the week before this, it would have been much more than then. So yeah, it's been a while, but it was a good movie. And if you want to hear what we have to say about it, because we had a lot to say about it. So if you want to know, check out the last episode. It was a great episode. I think probably one of my favorites, just purely out of one, excitement for our favorite superhero, two, the things that we talked about. So definitely consider that. Yeah,
and it's cool too when we take the, I guess, like the attention to detail that we normally have with like the animes that we watch and all of that, and take it and put that light onto something as popular as the Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
You know, it's really, really fascinating just to kind of see the stuff that you and I end up talking about at the end of the day.
Well, because at the end of the day, whether it's anime or a Marvel movie, it's still cinema. It's still, you know, it's
storytelling.
Storytelling. Yeah, that's what I was going for. So we have a lot to talk about that, whether it would be, you know, Eastern or Western, cartoon or not cartoon. Still lots to say. You know, Silent Voice or Boss Baby, you know? So a lot of things, you know, there's a lot of things to say, you know? So
fucking Boss Baby,
fucking
dude.
Boss Baby, dude.
Fucking Boss Baby.
We need to watch Silent Voice. It will shatter you, but just so you can have a point of reference of what I'm saying when I say Boss Baby won over Silent Voice. We need to watch it very soon.
I think you're kind of glancing over the fact that the second anime I ever watched was Your Lie in April, and then we watched Angel Beats.
I know, but no, you watched Angel Beats. That was your fault.
Okay, that's fair.
That was your fault. Oh, speaking of crying, Zach, you know what I did last night? I was just talking about it. I'm late to the train, but I finally watched the Mugen Train arc for Demon Slayer, the 7 episodes. That it was interesting because I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. So, Demon Slayer, right? Everybody knows Demon Slayer. Don't even have to say it. It's anime. They slay demons, Zach.
Duh.
That's about it. There's more to it, but of course, you can check out the Demon Slayer episode if you're curious. But
the
tiebacks. We watched the movie already, and we talked about the movie a little bit in that episode. But I'm not going to turn this into a train episode. But I just got to say, I wasn't sure how I would feel about it because I already seen the movie, right? And you'd already seen the movie. We watched it together. And I was talking with my brother because both at this point, both of us hadn't seen either the season 2 or the train arc. My brother hasn't seen the movie yet. And he's wondering, should I watch the movie or should I just watch the train episodes? Before I watched it, to my understanding, it was going to be adding events onto the movie. And it did that, but it also just replayed the movie. I don't know how much you remembered it, but it was weird because it took some parts from the movie away, but added other parts of the movie away. So I can't really say whether you should watch one or the other, but at the same time, it's so similar to the movie that you can watch them. If you watch the movie, then watch the train eps back to back, it would feel really redundant. So I don't know if I have an answer to that, whether you should watch one or the other. I would say maybe you.
Honestly, I think out of the two, if you haven't seen both of them, I would say to watch the train episodes.
I would say so as well.
Because it ends up adding a little bit more detail and a little bit more context to a lot of the stuff that's happening.
I think so as well. It did one thing, and this is not. We won't talk about spoilers. I mean, unless we want to later. But one thing that I really liked about the train eps was it finally did what I wanted, which was give more information on Rengoku.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning, because in the movie he just kind of shows up, and you do figure out his character afterwards, like as you go. But it felt really weird, and I had no connection to that character at the time at all. Like coming into the movie, when I first heard about the movie, it was going to be centered around Rengoku. I was like, really? Out of everyone? Like we not only do we not know him a lot, but he was really annoying.
Yeah.
Like in the end of the first season, he was really annoying. At least that's how I felt. Of course, that changed, but that definitely helped with the train episodes for me to get that character. But you know what they did? You know what they left out though? They left out the introduction of the demon, of him going into that spiral world thing of like pillars and staircases.
Oh,
that
yeah.
whole sequence.
Akaza was his
Yeah,
name.
no, not Akaza. Well, Akaza was the upper 12th, but I'm talking about the creepy train demon.
When
they went to the dimension. Yeah, when he went to the dimension and he saw Michael Jackson, Muzan, and he was killing off the demons one by one. They left that whole thing out. You're gonna look it up? Yeah, you're gonna look it up again. Yeah, sure. But Muzan Jackson, it's so true. What do you want me to say? What?
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They knew exactly what they were doing. Anyways.
This is so good.
Yeah, but they left it out. They left that out, which was interesting because I felt like, they should have put it. I felt like the train arc or episodes, I suppose, really relied on the fact that you had to see the movie already.
Yeah.
Because they glossed over some parts, like they repeated a lot from the movie. Like there was I would say about 80% of the visuals were copy and pasted from the movie, I would say. But there were still they removed like parts where you could probably gloss over if you'd seen the movie, and then they kept going. Example this, but this one was an interesting one because I thought they would leave this in.
Yeah, and out of all of the things that they decided to keep in or add in to supplement certain things that you hadn't seen, being able to see Muzan Jackson, kill all of the lower moon demons, I think that would have been like one of those things where it's like a little bit important.
I think so too. That instilled more character into Muzan. That instilled a fear factor. The weight of which, how strong the other demons were compared to Muzan.
Yeah.
Even though they were lower 12th, which we had experienced a lower 12th from Spider Guy.
Oh, what's his name?
It's been a while.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, please look it up. Rin?
Ooh, Tanjiro.
Tanjiro?
Versus lower moon demon.
I swear it was like Rin or Ryo, maybe?
Rui.
Rui! I was close. R. It was an R. Okay. So,
dude, he was like low-key a terrifying character.
He was.
Because like you would have thought in that whole arc of the show, I love how this is just like an elaboration on our Demon Slayer episode, but it's fun.
Normie anime, let's go.
Yeah. I think it's really cool that they kind of subjected or subverted. There we go.
I corrected you. That's the first time. Let's go. Art of English.
Let's go. Hang on, I gotta for the bingo. Use case.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. So I think it was really cool that they subverted your expectations when you were trying to figure out who the lower moon demon was. And it turned out to be Rui. And I love that they were able to take the story of Rui and turn it into something that was very emotionally compelling, as well as something that you kind of get emotionally invested in all of the characters involved. And that's something that I have to commend Demon Slayer for, is that there are so many kind of temporary antagonists in the show, and in the movie, and and everything. But they somehow find a way to tell you just enough about these villains or these antagonists that you almost kind of feel for them, but at the same time that they're still in the wrong.
Right.
Like the stuff that the Demon Slayers are doing is still right and just, but they give you just enough to where you're like, man, I feel bad. And then the way that Tanjiro, he kind of like gives them that sweet relief of finally being able to die, which sounds really sad, but if you watch the show, it's like he has a lot of sympathy for the demons, and he always had. But yeah, dude, season 2, episode 1, I'm not going to tell you like anything about it other than it is so good.
Really?
It's really, really, really good.
I've heard interesting things about season 2. The first couple episodes. First, I think handful of episodes, maybe four or so episodes. Because there was this commotion going around of people calling it mid-slayer. Because it wasn't that good. Like it was more fun, more casual, not really a whole lot of action going on. Is what I've heard. I've never watched them yet. Last night I binged the entire Mugen Train arc. So I'm gonna start pretty soon on season 2 so I can catch up. But what I heard, everybody's saying mid-slayer, this season 2 is shit, all this, all that. In my mind, I'm like, okay, Demon Slayer fans' first filler episodes, like, aw, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, their first filler. Hey, calm down, it's all good.
I mean, I think
they happen, they watch Demon Slayer, they've experienced filler episodes for the first time. They're like, what is this? Wow, this anime is garbage now. Calm down.
We're getting there.
So I haven't seen it yet, but I'm not sure if you've heard very much about the recent episodes, but apparently they're fucking insane. Like, insane.
I've heard like nothing about the new episodes.
So what I did, Zach, when I was talking with my coworkers, is as I explained, my general sample of the normie population is my coworkers.
Right.
No offense to them, but it's kind of how it is. Although some coworkers are pretty inept in anime. Shout out to y'all. But the rest, who just watch, Demon Slayer and stuff for the fights and all that, it's all good. It's whatever. Normie population, as we explained before, normie population is good. Mainstream is good. But what I take from them is that they really did not like it, like at all. So I'm like, okay, well, what I hear is that these episodes, they're just saving their budget.
I never thought about it that way.
Right? That's what it makes. I've been here for a while, Zach, I've seen a couple animes in my time,
Yeah.
I know how these things go. They're saving their budget.
For something fucking insane.
Is what I've been hearing. I've never seen Twitter erupt so hard. Actually, no, I have. That was during episode, what was it? 19?
Yeah.
Or so, I think it was, right? Of season 1?
Yeah.
Dude, people went fucking nuts. And I've seen screenshots. I've avoided everything so far, other than some screenshots, but of which I've only looked at a little, but they weren't spoiler screenshots. But it was like of that episode or whatever. And it's crazy. So yeah, I was right. I was right. They saved their budget, and now everyone's like, "Oh, these episodes. This is so cool. This games are so cool." Shut the fuck up, you fake fan. Shut up. Don't shut up. You can't just backtrack on me like that. You just called Demon Slayer mid because you couldn't handle a couple filler episodes. Come on. You have to have them because, and save budget. Work on maybe character development. I don't know what these episodes imply. Character development, maybe world building, politics, stuff like.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that happened, but I know there are plenty of animes where they spend like episodes on just talking. Or even, and if you've read manga like Slime, for example, there's been times where it's just chapters on chapters on chapters of just roundtable discussion, politics, you know? And I love that shit, by the way. First of all, I love that. I love reading that. It's so interesting.
I think that their version of like filler episodes were like at the end after episode 19 of season 1.
I don't think so, because that still had some development as far as like for Tanjiro at least, and to getting to know Shinobu, as well as Kanao. So in essence, like compared to what just had happened, right?
Yeah.
You know, the fight with Rui. Yes, it's definitely a little bit more subdued, but I felt like it was important still. So I would not call it filler necessarily, because I don't know. I've seen filler episodes in my time, you know? I know what they are. They pertain almost nothing other than character development. And this did that, but I think it did a little bit more than just character development. So I would say not... It was close. It was close. But to what I understand, and I will see it pretty soon, and we'll both see it very soon, because you haven't seen season 2 yet either, other than episode 1.
I want to watch it so bad. Like,
yeah, apparently it's just boring as shit. But Zach...
Shut up.
No, Zach. I love boring as shit. Slice of life? I've explained it many times. Mundane, boring shit is I inject that into my blood, Zach, into my veins. It keeps me going in life, Zach. Nothing makes me more happier than rural Japan slice of life. I'm currently watching the show right now called Akebi-chan, Akebi-chan's sailor uniform, which is basically this rural, like, you know, slice of life, as I explained, of this girl who wants to wear a sailor uniform. So she enters middle school, I think, and then she goes to that school and finds out that they're no longer, the uniforms changed and they're no longer wearing sailor uniforms. But she still wants to wear it, so she still wears it, and that's it. And then they just, you know, do their thing.
They're just chilling.
And they're just doing school stuff. And it's cute. And I gotta say, Zach, hold on, I gotta show you, because I gotta show you some of these damn screenshots, because I don't know why, but this is like the most aesthetic show I've seen in my life. The visuals in this show are so damn good. Oh, I have to log, hold on. This is my second account. Like, this show, for some reason, is so damn aesthetic. I love it so damn much. It's way... What is this? Oh, it's because I'm not signed in. It's making me do all these crazy shit. Like, it's way... The quality is, like, way too fucking good.
Wow.
Do I have more? I hope I didn't retweet anything bad. Okay, anyways. That's besides the point. And this is the manga I've been freaking out over because it's fucking Pog. But...
Yeah, just scroll fast enough, then we won't get in trouble.
Like, it's way too well done. And the animation is way too good. Okay.
I have so much respect for people who are able to animate hair in a way that really makes sense. And like, you know, I've seen movies like Moana who are trying like way too hard to be realistic, and then you see that one anime where it's like, it's not... Yeah, I'm really glad that you switched to not showing the screen.
What do you mean? It's fine. There's no bobs.
I think I saw bobs.
There's no bobs. I don't retweet bobs. I have an image to uphold. You know? There's ass though.
But anyways, they tried way too hard to make it realistic, and you know, they would like animate every single strand of hair, and it's like, that seems like nonsense. But
well, when you create, like, I'm still trying to find the damn screenshots, but when you create like this, they create the separation, right, between reality and cartoon.
Yeah.
And when they have enough reality to make it seem real, but they play into cartoon, so they don't try and make these characters look like, I mean, as far as anatomy goes and like proportion wise, yeah, they do make it look like humans. But I mean, I'm trying to find the screenshots again, but I mean, as you saw before, like, the way the character designs are, they're, yeah, like, okay, here we go. I found some more. This show is way too pretty. Like it actually blows my mind how pretty it is. And
this honestly looks better animated from like a cinematography standpoint than like indie movies I've seen that are based in real life. Like, why is it that they have like the etchings on freaking nail clippers? Like I that's attention to detail that I just could never understand, because it's like in the order of operations of things, you would think that like the last thing on the totem pole would be like showing the texture of the grip on nail clippers.
Yeah.
And I mean, I understand it's a close-up shot and they want it to look pretty, but at the same time, you're dealing with so much more difficult, important things like trying to relay the anatomy of fucking hands.
right.
And that's so difficult. Like,
Yeah.
being able to draw hands in a convincing way is impressive, but when you're able to make it so that they move and don't look like little sausage rolls, it's like that.
No, it's really good.
That's just like, oh,
They
A1 sauce.
You just watch it because it's super fucking aesthetic and the visuals are so fucking good. And it just makes my, I know. It makes my filmmaking, my visual porn eyes, my boring, mundane, rural Japanese slice of life. It makes that part of me very, very happy. And I just love the show so much. And it's made by Cloverworks, and Cloverworks recently has been doing some they've been doing really good work recently. Like I'm sure they've done great shows before, but they've been doing like, you don't know these titles, but they did Akibi-chan. Right now they're doing Dress Up Darling. They're doing 2 shows right now that are airing currently this season.
Damn.
And they are incredible. Like their quality is just as good. And they did, what else? I think they did Wonder Egg Priority, which is a while ago, which is an interesting show. They did Horimiya, which not behind me, but it used to be. Horimiya is probably one of my all-time favorite mangas. Did an anime adaptation. It was really nice. They've been fucking killing it recently, and they've rose to my top charts of studios, and it's just fantastic. I love to see it.
Dude, the first thing that I thought of when you said like rural Japan aesthetic type stuff was Your Name, because that movie is just so aesthetically pleasing. And I mean, when you're able to like be so appreciative of the quality of a show, it's like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
I love this. And I mean, for us, it's kind of hard to please, I guess, because, we've been spoiled with all of these amazing high quality shows and everything like that. But, if it's aesthetic as fuck, then we're going to be like, this show is so good just for the sheer fact of it looks amazing. It's the art in the show is just absolutely fantastic. And, we've watched a couple of different shows that have had some really, really good art styles. And like the first thing that came to mind for me was like Downtown in Bunny Girl Senpai. Like that whole downtown city life, city skyline cinematography and everything like that. Like, so good. And then, I could honestly just rattle off a bunch of really good things that I liked about every single show I've watched so far. And even shows that like I've watched without you, like Angel Beats and Parasite. And I need to get you to watch Parasite because I think you'd like it. Even though it's a little bit gory, but you can. So
it's not okay. I wouldn't say I'm too picky or spoiled as far as that. I would say I'm the opposite actually, because as I was saying before, I really like my rural slice of life, and my rural slice of life sometimes, or not even rural, but just a boring, mundane slice of life where it's just you follow a group of usually girls and they just meet other girls and they do random things, and that's it for 12 episodes. And sometimes our work isn't even like not good. It's still good, but it's not like outstanding. Like it's not like what you like Ikebi-chan or Your Name or anything like that. It's still good, but it's like I'm good enough to just kind of lower my expectations and shut off my brain and just kind of envelope myself into the world building, the character building, that type of stuff. Because Akebi-chan, what that show does really well is not only look fucking stunning, but there isn't really this major storyline. So you just kind of, it's more of an experience. You immerse yourself into this world where you just meet these girls and you learn more about other characters, and then that's it. And that sounds boring to the average Demon Slayer fan, but it's just an experience. It's fun. It's just something to think about. It's something to watch. It's something nice to watch. Something to, whether it's something you put on while you do other things, which God forbid you do, or maybe it's popcorn watching, or it's just like I don't know. To me, it's I enjoy that world building, even if the story isn't spectacular. Obviously, the story is important, but as long as there's a premise, a very discrete premise, and that's at least established for the most part. And then after that, it's just character development or character building or just general world building. I love that more, I think, personally, than, dare I say, storytelling. I think world immersion and world building is more important. Although they're hand in hand. And frankly, world building is part of storytelling, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely understand the way that you look at it. Like, you set your expectations accordingly, depending on, what you're watching and the context of the content. And like, yeah, I think that world building and character development is one of the most important things about really any show that you watch. Mm-hmm. And so if there's a show that, really goes heavy into making sure that more about these characters and everything like that, you're able to understand the reasons why they do things, the reasons why they interact with the people who they do, the way that they do. Mm-hmm. And so when I watch shows that have multiple episodes that are just character development, I just get more emotionally invested in mm-hmm. these characters. And I think Origami is a good example of that.
We need to finish that, though.
We do.
We're on the final season.
Yes.
We got to do it, bro.
I know. It's been a while.
It's been a couple weeks actually now since we've seen it, but we're on the final season, bro. We got to do it.
I know. I think we just accidentally took too long of a break and kind of forgot about it.
Let's do it. Tonight.
Okay. And then I'm gonna watch Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
But those shows that are so heavy in the character development, and obviously there's a plot to kind of push it along, but without that interaction between characters, the development and mm-hmm. change of the characters throughout the seasons or throughout the episodes, then it would just be super boring.
Yeah.
And it's really cool when you're watching a show and you see a character interaction, and then after the fact you're like, yeah, I couldn't have imagined that going any other way, mm-hmm. like knowing the characters. That's a really cool place to be in, where you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense for this person to have like this snarky remark for this thing, or and being able to understand the characters in a deeper way. That definitely like drives home the story that you're trying to tell. And so, obviously Demon Slayer has character development, has world building, all of that kind of stuff. But I don't want to say that it's for like a different audience of people, but it kind of is.
It is. You can say that. I think it is. At least the way it's very well done, but because of the way that it's just, it's action, and it's fighting, and it's cool abilities and stuff, and just by nature, it's just going to appeal to that type of demographic,
Right.
It's just how it's going to be. But there's other elements surrounding it that make it just a great watch for everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
But generally, it has just the perfect formula to just be, for this demographic, right? It's just perfect, and yeah.
I mean,
you can't say it's not. It is not a bad thing, but it's what it is.
Right. And you know, I'm not hating on the quote unquote normie audience, because you know, it's the same demographic of people who watch like action movies and those types of things, you know. But I can't imagine someone going from watching the first season of Demon Slayer to watching Origami.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You know, it's like it takes a certain type of person to kind of be able to enjoy that type of thing and then go to badass Demon Slayer stuff. And like, you know, I just watched the first episode of Demon Slayer and I forgot how hype it was, and I'm just like, yeah. And I'm totally okay with the boring episodes, just because, you know, the way that they've built the characters' relationships with each other, it's just like, oh yeah, you know, this is really entertaining to watch, regardless of, you know, if they're slaying demons or, you know, training or, you know, whatever it may be.
Zach, the Origami, I'm reading the novels, right?
Yeah.
Very slowly, and frankly, I'm doing the thing that I've been doing that I've the thing I shouldn't be doing, which is what I do with manga. Is I picked up more light novels, and I'm reading multiple at the same time. It's not the thing I should be doing,
right?
But I did it anyways. But I am still reading Origami, sorta, and as I've explained before, my favorite parts of Origami is not when there's, you know, not the conflict parts, not the parts where there's things happening. It's when they're in the classroom, Zach, or the club room, and they're just talking.
Yeah.
And they're just interacting with each other. Because it's great in the anime, but in the novels, it's hilarious. It's so simple. It's so boring. It's so mundane. It's just like these three characters, they just talk and do shouty, you know, like, or snotty remarks at each other every now and then, like slight jabs and joking around. And that's it. That's it. But it's so intriguing. I love it so much. It's my favorite part of anything that happens in Origami.
I wish they would have spent more time there in the show.
I wish so too.
And I don't know what the last season's gonna look like, because obviously I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's rough. That's all I gotta say. It's
don't
rough.
Tell me that.
It's rough.
But yeah, it's like,
I've never heard so much sad OST in my life. That's all I have to say about
stop it. Fuck off, dude. Fuck off. I don't want to hear that shit.
It's the ending after all.
That's true. Yeah. I've liked every single show that you've watched with me. And even the shows that you've recommended to me that I've watched on my own, like, I've liked all of them, just because they're just so good. And I need to watch this the forbidden animes that you've been telling me, like, you should not be watching these.
No, not gonna. If you're talking about Clannad, I'm not gonna let you. Nope. No. You have to wait at least like 1 or 2 more years.
Okay.
I'm not letting you, because
is it gonna ruin sad boy anime?
It's going to ruin everything. Well, it's not true, because I mean, I can still cry to anime, but when I watched Clannad and After Story, I didn't cry to a single anime for, like, you know, I'm still not over it. I need to rewatch it, actually. 1, for closure, and 2, they have like extra episodes based off the characters, and I forgot to watch them, so I need to watch them. But it's been years since I've watched them, so it would be really weird to just watch them now.
Yeah,
but that also means I have to rewatch it. I'm like, oh fuck, oh shit. Oh,
dude, do you remember?
Oh, I don't want to do it, Zach. I don't want it. I cried again during the train episode, Zach. I did. My pillow was soaked again. I'd seen the movie already. I know what happens.
Dude, I tried to do a rewatch of Your Lie in April, and I think I told you about this.
You did? No, you never. You never told me about this.
So, well,
a
buddy of mine wanted to watch it, and I told him I'd watch it with him.
Oh, you did say that, but that was like ages ago.
Yeah, that's the only time I've ever tried to rewatch that show.
You didn't, though, right?
No, I got like 3 episodes in, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, I am not mentally prepared for this right now.
It's too early, Zach.
It's too early. Yeah, it definitely. It's one of those shows where it's like,
I would say you could probably do it now, if I would have to say.
But I don't want to.
I know. Yeah. It's rough, but that's all I'm saying. Like going back to the the mundane stuff, the character development stuff. I think these episodes are important, and you just can't have just cool fight scenes every single episode. It just would would be too oversaturated, and
because then it would be like Dragon Ball Z, where the same fight scene takes like a season.
Yeah. That being said, that's technically what happened with the train arc, but in a way.
Wait a minute.
You know
now
what
that
I
I
mean?
think about it,
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I wonder. Okay, you know what I've realized? I've realized what if it's kind of like the Mugen Train arc in Dragon Ball, where it's like they have those super prolonged fight scenes, where it's like a similar idea where they're just adding like a shit ton of context and content into like a fight scene. I don't know.
No, I wouldn't say so. Dragon Ball was very, very different. Dragon Ball was, I would say, they exchanged a max of 10 punches every episode. So it was a little different. You're welcome for that. Dragon Ball fans are molding right now, but it's the truth. I like Dragon Ball, but it's just the truth. This is what happened. I don't know about Super right now, but
I stopped watching Dragon Ball after
apparently
Dragon Ball
Super
Z.
is really good, but I don't know. I don't know. Dragon Ball is hard to get into for me. That being said, just watching anime again has made me really happy. Like not only did I watch the train episodes, I caught up with Akebi-chan, which I was just talking about, on the same day. So I just watched anime all day, and boy, it's been a long time since I've done that. Like it made me feel really happy. Like it's been so long since I've done that. So,
bro, I think we both need to just watch anime for like an entire day. Just do like an anime cleanse.
Just wake up, watch anime, and then go back and then go to bed, and then afterwards just do the rest of the stuff. I might have to, honestly. I mean, I could probably do it with manga, but anime is tough. It really is. But I will say though, I really enjoyed my time just watching. I think it was like 4 or so episodes of Akebi-chan, and then 7 episodes of Demon Slayer. That was fun. That was very fun, very fun. But we're just repeating ourselves over and over again. Watch Demon Slayer. Try Akebi-chan if you want to. It's definitely, I would say, it's still the slice of life that I'm trying to promote, but it's like on steroids because the animation and the production is way too good. But it's nice. It's just nice, you know. It's just chill, and it's like it's really cute, and why not? I don't know. But otherwise, you know, try some fun animes now and then. You know, try Dress Up Darling. You know what's funny? My buddy, he tweeted this out. Everybody's like, Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer are currently like the anime right now. And then my friend's like, I don't know about that. And he shows a picture of the anime rankings. And this anime that's airing right now called Dress Up Darling is currently number 1.
I love that shit so much.
It's so funny. Like it's really funny. Like I know we're clowning. It's clowning a normie anime crowd, but it's just so funny because there's more like yes, Demon Slayer right now is hype. Attack on Titan, it's the finale. It's the final season, the last season, then it's done. Very hype. But to say like it is the thing right now, I'm like, hold on now. There's like 50 other anime airing currently. You know?
50?
Well, I just do a number. Maybe like 20 or so.
I mean, that's still a lot. Like I guess I kind of forget how many shows are airing just at any given time, really.
I mean, we only have Crunchyroll. We got to remember this: Funimation exclusives, High Dive exclusives, etc., right? So there's a lot to think about as far as how many shows are airing. So there's a lot to choose from. Some are good, some are bad, some are chill, some are hype,
some are funny as fuck,
some are not funny as fuck. I don't know.
Some are sad as fuck.
Some are sad as fuck. Some are yaoi. You know, there's a lot of things to do. You know, so you can give it a shot. And try different things, you know. Anime is fun. You see Demon Slayer and it's hype, you know. Give us some others a shot. That's all I'm saying. But it was really funny to see that tweet. I think it was a perfect tweet. It was so funny. It's just like, and the original person, he had like these screenshots from Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan, like these really hyped screenshots, like really trying to pump his opinion or his point. Yeah. and then they were number 2 and 3. To Dress Up Darling, which is a rom-com anime about a girl who wants to cosplay, and it's extremely wholesome. And I read the manga. I haven't watched the anime yet, but it's by Cloverworks.
Of course it is. Dude, I love how we're sitting here talking about, we were originally talking about like filler episodes in Demon Slayer, and then this just turned into the filler episode, the podcast.
What do you want me to say? I don't know. It's great. I don't know. I mean, watch anime. Anime is fun.
I mean, you know, like you said, there's nothing really wrong with that. And it's fun to just kind of take a moment and just talk about like anime in general. Because a lot of the times when we're talking about anime, we're talking about one show in particular or one movie in particular.
You know, we haven't really talked about anime in a while.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a hot minute since we've talked about anime on the show, at least, you know, specifically. So it's a little fun to kind of unload the point of which the podcast was supposed to be.
I mean, now that I think about it with the context of 50 episodes, I realize that our show is basically the physical representation of what like ADHD brain looks like, because the episodes sometimes will have nothing to do with each other and you can skip 20 minutes and then we're talking about something entirely different. Like I was watching the episode that aired tonight or last night or yesterday or whenever it was.
God, I have no clue what that would. I would last week. From if you're watching now, it would have been last week. But the Doki Doki episode.
Yeah, okay. The Doki Doki episode. And like I was trying to find when we started talking about Doki Doki Literature Club, and I was just kind of skimming through, and you know we
find it.
I was trying to find like the moment that led up to us talking about it, and it was just like it was so hard to find, and then I found that like perfect catalyst moment, and then it it's so fun. It was like completely out of nowhere. You were like, have you heard about Doki Doki literature lore? And I was like,
oh yeah. It was pretty random. Yeah. No, we were talking about horror games, I think.
Yeah. But like
Corpse Party and stuff, which you should still check out.
We still need to play Phasmophobia, by the way.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that, you know, we can just bounce around and just have fun conversations.
Of course.
And that's basically all it is just two bros chilling in an office.
Well, that's why I say you don't have to watch every episode back to like or chronologically.
Right.
You could just go to the playlist that I have and just hit shuffle, and you would be just about as caught up as you would. You know, it would have been fine. But yeah. But you know what, Zach? Just change the topic if you don't mind. I want to talk about this.
Oh my god!
Because I got it. I was going through because I watched our podcast episodes. I know, right? But part of it is to just make sure that there wasn't anything I need to change. But also I think they're interesting, and also after we talk about it, I honestly forget what we talk about. So as I'm listening, I'm like, dude, I don't remember saying any of this.
Dude, that's the scariest thing. I know that you're about to go down the Nintendo Switch rabbit hole, but I just want to say before we do, it is really strange, like having just this catalog of conversations that we've had, 90% of which I've completely forgot. And the only reason why I remember any parts of the episodes, it's because of the previews that you make.
Yeah.
And so, like I'll go back 10, 20, 30 episodes and just kind of see what we were talking about. And it's just, I'm surprised. And I am constantly reminded of the stupid shit that comes out of my mouth. But it's cool because we're able to have relatively interesting conversations while just being goofy at the same time. And so I find that super cool. Anyways, you can go back to talking
sure.
about that.
So I ended up getting the Switch, and it's not the OLED, it's just the basic bitch Switch, which is still fine.
Basic bitch switch.
Bitch Switch. So yeah, I remember I bring that up with watching the episodes back because I was watching an episode back. I think it was the Doki Doki episode, and I was talking about how I was going to buy the Switch for Diamond and Pearl, and then I didn't. And then I did. Get fucked. So, my experience with the Switch so far, I love it. I enjoy the interface of it. It's very fun, cute. It's very wholesome. It's very family friendly. It's very. Some of the settings are a little odd. Some settings I feel like are left out. Like it's very washed. Like you're very limited to what you can adjust. Although as a family console, even for, like even a PlayStation or Xbox for that matter, usually it's just that you plug it in and you play, right? So, it's just sitting in the family. What is it? Entertainment console thing, and it's just is what it is. So I understand that, but I wish there's advanced settings at least that you can tweak around because there's some things I'd like to play with. Battery life is okay. I've noticed I've had to charge it way more often than I thought I would, but I mean, if you're playing a video game for hours on end on a battery, it's just gonna happen.
Right.
So I keep my expectations realistic. The kickstand kind of sucks ass, but I know the OLED has a revised version, but I have not been able to let me try it. Oh, live test. It stays. Okay, cool. Oh, did I hit a button? My bad.
You did.
Okay, it's up. It's chilling. Cool. Okay, maybe on a flat surface. I tried on my lap and stuff. Just wasn't good.
Well, probably because you were trying to do it on your lap.
Yeah, I made my lap as flat as possible. I was trying to put it on my lap and then take the Joy-Cons out and play it. Because doing this for a really long time is kind of But then again,
you're like, I'm gonna relocate it about a foot away from me.
Yeah, because I can do that, Zach. Because that's what the point of the Switch is. That's a cool thing about it. It's possible. It's a little awkward. But yeah, I got Diamond and Pearl, and I did a very interesting thing. I don't know if I told you this. I made the language Japanese.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
So in Diamond and Pearl, Brilliant Diamond, Shiny Pearl, you have the option of choosing your language, of course, and there's two options for Japanese. One is normal Japanese, like Nihongo, with kanji, and there's one with Japanese, but only hiragana and katakana.
Oh.
So I did a very interesting thing. I decided, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. I'm going to put to my language to the hiragana, or I guess kana, I suppose. So both hiragana and katakana. Kana. So experience so far is just about as rough as you'd think. It's incredibly rough.
For me, I would get so lost so fast if I didn't stop every 10 seconds.
There's a lot of, for a background, right? I don't know. I would not consider myself even preschool level Japanese. And that's to say, even for kana, not even kanji for that matter. I can read very little if I read it very slowly. But even to that point, right? I know I memorize all katakana hiragana. I watch a bunch of VTubers, which you laugh about, but watching Japanese with no subtitles at normal speaking pace, does quite a bit more than just watching anime with English subtitles,
Right.
And then also, I follow predominantly Japanese Twitter, so I am exposed to it way more often. And if I want to read it, I would have to force myself to read it. And lately, my Twitter has been weird, and it doesn't let me translate sometimes. It doesn't give me the option to, unless I do some weird trickery to make it work somehow, with weird clicking or tapping on replies, and then back to the original tweet, then back to the. I don't know. It's really weird. But so lately, I haven't been able to translate tweets. So and I've done a couple Duolingos here and there. I
Right.
know a little bit, but conversation, hell no. Reading, fluent reading, hell no. So there's two big pitfalls to this thing. One, obviously, it's a language I don't know, so that would be it's hard to read it because I'm not familiar with it completely. But two is the thing that scares me the most. So a little another backstory, a little bit more context. I've considered watching an anime without subtitles before, or even with Japanese subtitles or something like that. And I've considered reading manga with Japanese, text. And for, testing myself and also, forcing myself to do so, right? So I can recognize maybe more kanji, recognize reading more. Problem is, the thing that's scary is I have to be careful what I choose. I have to choose one that's easy to read, because what I cannot do is choose something that is like a fantasy genre. Because what fantasy genre has is really fucking weird abstract words.
Right.
And weird names. Not even just in English, in Latin, but in Japanese as well. And very difficult kanji. So what happens, Zach, when I play a game with its own vocabulary, its own naming structures? It's very difficult. It's very... you see where I'm going.
Yeah.
So like move like Ember is Hinoko, and like attack would be oh shit, Kogeki, I think. So it's hard, right? You see what I'm getting at. Even if I'm just reading it in hiragana and katakana, like the words are laid out, doesn't mean I know what the words mean.
Right.
So that's one of the hardest part. But besides that, the whole reason I'm doing this is not because I want to, learn Japanese, I suppose. That's not the point. The point is actually to force myself to read. So this is an exercise on reading straight katakana and hiragana fluently, just straight from through and through, without having to sound out each word, one by one, like I'm 2 years old.
Right.
So I may not know what the words mean, but that's not the point. The point of this exercise is not to know what the words mean. I could learn what the words mean, and that can be a cool side effect. But the main takeaway I'm trying to do is to read fluently. At least for kana. Not kanji, of course, because there's no kanji, but there'd be no way I'd read that. So that's the point of it. So while I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and at the very least, I know it's been years, right? Dare I say a decade. Probably actually at this point, since I played Gen 4 Platinum Pokemon, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I put a lot of hours into that game.
Right.
I know that game in the back of my skull. Even if I forgot the minor details, I know the storyline. And the storyline has changed a little bit in this game, but I know how to get from the starting town to the Elite Four.
Yeah.
I can do that. And what I need to do in between. So I'm cool. I'm capable of at least the main story. I might miss some details, but I'm okay with that. So because of that, I can just focus on trying to sound out and read words. And that's what this exercise is.
I can't imagine. Like, honestly, I feel like I would just feel like a lost puppy in that situation. I'm like, I need an adult. Yeah, no, yeah.
That's what it's going to be, Zach, when we would visit Japan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we got to prepare ourselves at least a little bit. So I'm trying really hard. And it's so far I've played for about, I haven't played very much because I've been busy, but I've played for about a good like 5 hours in game, like a good 1 or 2 nights. And I'm at the second gym. It's pretty rough.
Yep, that's definitely a slow burn.
Yeah,
that's a slow.
That
burn.
being said, there's also some other parts. I don't know how much you know about like Pokemon watching stuff, like EVs and IVs, stats and stuff, natures.
Yeah. So
I never cared about this before, but that was back when I didn't even know what they meant. Even though I haven't played Pokemon, I've watched a lot of Pokemon. I've watched, and especially speedrunning. Speedrunning Pokemon is fascinating. But what happens is they talk about nature and they talk about EVs and stuff, or I guess EV is the thing that you get, but IV and, I guess I don't really care about that, but nature is the thing I care about right now. Mm-hmm. And in Brilliant Diamond and Shiny Pearl, what they've done is they show you, when you look up the stats of the Pokemon, what stats get boosted and what stats get lowered. So they really put it in your face. So if I capture a shit nature and I don't even know what the nature means, I can't just play ignorance is a bliss. It tells me right in my face, oh yeah, by the way, your special attack sucks dick. even though this is a special attacking Pokemon, get fucked. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll keep catching. So that's what I've been doing, Zach. I've just been catching. I've caught a lot of Pokemon trying to get natures I wanted. So I've also spent a lot of time doing that. But I would say the majority of it is trying to fucking read everything. I'm trying not to skip. There's some parts I will skip because, frankly, if I don't just mash A, I won't get anywhere. Like, it's that much wall of text.
Yeah.
So, but if it's like, I know I will, it's not that terribly long, then I'll sit there and I will read it, and I'll also sound it out loud.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Pretty rough. But, we're getting there.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine. Like, seriously, I feasibly could not imagine being in the situation that you're in right now. I need to read more, just in general, and like I need to start trying to learn kana.
At the very least, yeah, I'd say kana is the nicest. Or at least, obviously you should learn your kanji and learn everything, but at the very least, I would say that's going to help us the most. It will help us the most. And helping us the most after that would be to learn Japanese as a whole. But there's a lot I'm sure we can figure out at least from there. And you could probably learn off of that as well. So I'm sure they'd be very helpful. But another thing that's been helping me push my my learning Japanese agenda is manga. And I read manga, not necessarily the correct way, I will say, if you guys catch my drift. But that also plays into that whole conversation we had before, where it's like, if there's no direct English translation, what is a fan meant to do, right? And there's currently 2 manga that I'm really fucking with right now. One called Oshinoko, which is really interesting. It's about acting, and showbiz, and the dark side of it. Very, very fascinating. And it's currently my number 1 agenda I'm pushing right now because it's that fucking good. And I recommend it to you, honestly, because fuck it, it's fantastic. And it's very good to learn about those type of backstories and back end things. But also this manga called Assassin's Pride, which is a anime that frankly was how do I say, not very good. They breezed over way too much information. And I didn't even watch the anime, but I just heard it was bad. That being said, the opening and the ending, the opening, the OP and the ED, fucking bangers. I don't know why they put all their budget on that. I swear to God, but but I'm reading the manga right now, and the manga is fantastic. The story is amazing, and it's about really quick synopsis because the point of it is not the story, but I do really like it. It's about this world where you get it's a magic story, and these girls get they awaken to like magic, like mana, right? And then they go to a school where they learn mana, fighting, that type of stuff, right? So they can fight the dark monsters and stuff. Classic, right? But then there's one girl who is of the bloodline of a very famous king or whatever. But she hasn't awoken her mana yet. So what people are speculating is that she's an illegitimate child, of which of a mother who didn't have mana, right? So there's an assassin that gets instructed or that gets commissioned to observe her, and if she's not able to awaken her mana or something like that, if she's not able to awaken her mana, then is to assassinate her. But until then, he's going to pretend to be her tutor, or her personal tutor. And then what happens is he learns about the girl more and learns her willpower, her spirit, how she wants to be, she wants to get mana. She's working really hard towards it. And even though she doesn't have mana, she's been training every day. And he recognizes this spirit, and he instills his own mana into her. But it's not the correct bloodline, I suppose. That's the best way I can explain it. So basically they're gambling on the fact that she has to hide the fact that she has his blood. And it's just a very cool story. Very interesting. And I love magic because I love fantasy, and I find it cool. Anyways, that's besides the point. Basically, the translation group. So what happens in manga, these type of the way you would read them in the way that I'm doing so right now, is you're relying on on a translation group to get the raw scans of the original manga, remove the text, clean it up. So, if the text was over something, they would redraw it underneath it and all that type of stuff. A whole bunch of work. Translate it, put the text in those bubbles and make it coherent, because, in Japanese, it's you can read it top down.
Mm-hmm.
In English, you can't. It's left to right. So you have to try and form sentence structures that would still convey the meaning, but in that same speech bubble. There's all sorts of things, and I respect that heavily. But they dropped it. They dropped the series, that the group that did it 11 months ago. So frankly, it's not getting picked up. So I read this fantastic story all the way to chapter 42, and it was getting fucking juicy, and there's no more. There is no more, Zach.
That's so tragic.
It's so tragic. So Zach, what there is, though, still, are the raws. The Japanese raws. So if I wanted to continue reading, I would have to learn Japanese. At least enough to understand. To be able to read these fantasy words, these made-up words. To be able to continue reading the story that I love so much. Like, if there was an English translation, official English translation, I would buy it. 100%.
Right.
And I've been doing that. Recently, I found out about, I didn't find out about it, but I started using Bookwalker, which if you know about another certain podcast, you know that they are heavily affiliated by it. And it is, that the e-library that I always dreamed of, with not all, but a lot of manga and a lot of light novels. It's perfect. And I've been doing it, and I've been reading, and it's been fantastic. It's a great experience. And I'm able to support the industry. Great. I'm able to buy legitimate. That's fantastic. That's what I wanted. That's what I've been waiting for. I don't care. I would totally buy everything digitally if I can. But, that means it has to be officially translated. And Assassin's Pride is not translated, nor is the light novel. So I'm just like, fuck.
I gotta learn Japanese.
It makes me so sad, Zach. Like, I would pay the translation group. Pay somebody that I can keep reading. What do I have to do, Zach? I have to learn Japanese. That's what I have to do. So that's another thing.
You're like, I know what I must do.
I know what I must do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
At what cost?
At what cost? Fuck.
That's so frustrating. It's like when you get like super into a story or super into really anything, and then they just kind of Thanos snap out of existence, and you're like, what the fuck, man?
I know.
It's like,
at least drop the series at the end of an arc. At the very least, not at the climax of an arc. That's messed up, Zach. That's messed up. There's a lot of shit happening. There's crying. There's emotion. And they cut it off.
what the hell,
That's
man?
messed up, man. I just got blue ballsed.
Got blue balls.
I got literature blue ballsed. That's fucked.
That is fucked.
I would never wish that upon my worst enemy, Zach. I hope the series that you're reading stops getting translated. That's messed up, Zach. Come on, that's fucked.
I would rather step on a Lego and freaking tumble down a flight of stairs.
I know. That's.
It's
so okay. I know some people are laughing right now because it sounds so funny, and I agree. It is pretty funny. But come on, man. That's just not cool. It's one of those things that.
Come on, man.
It's just one of those things that it's not necessarily like fucked, but it's just kind of like, come on, that's not cool, man.
Yeah, it's like those shows that heavily hinted at another season, and like,
then just
no
game, no life. Yeah.
No game, no life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
But at least you can buy the novels in English.
That's true. Have you finished those novels?
No. I haven't even finished Origami. I finished 1 volume of Origami, and now I'm reading like 5 other novels because I'm stupid. But anyways, yeah, that's basically I just want to learn Japanese for those reasons because I'm more interested in reading because I love manga and I love anime. I love it so much, Zach. I like when I've said it before, but it really has made an impact in my life and the way I express myself, the way I think, the way I view values. And I want to know more, but I'm not able to know more unless I can read the language. And to be fair, yeah, that's fair, right? It's their media. They would have to do extra effort in order to translate their language into, my preferred language, I understand that. I'm being a crybaby right now. But, if it's not the really mainstream series, it just will never get an official translation. No matter how no matter how popular it is in the English market, it needs to be mainstream at least. Or reasonably mainstream, or reasonably be able to be marketed. It has to it's got to get copies sold. It's got to fly off the shelves at least. Otherwise, it'd just be a waste of money. So it's like, fuck.
Sadness,
dude. What do we got to do? I'm hoping that because of this, because I would consider Bookwalker, Karakawa's e-library that I just mentioned before, I would consider them to be relatively new. Like maybe like last year-ish, year before-ish, maybe.
Okay.
And they have a reasonably pretty big library, but again, like I said, it doesn't have everything. I would assume obviously it would have to be licensed by Karakawa, so that might be part of it. I don't know if Assassin's Pride is. I keep wanting to say Assassin's Creed. I don't know if Assassin's Pride is licensed by it. I would assume so because to my understanding, Karakawa has everything. But if it does, then maybe I just have to wait. Maybe I just have to hope and pray. Maybe I have to, I don't know, send an email, say, hey, you should do this so I can read it, please.
Just use all of your email accounts.
Please. Yes, I will.
And then just send them a giant long email of just please give us.
God, please. At least the novels, maybe at least. I don't know. But, man, it's so tragic. I love the series so much. It made me so happy reading it.
So it's so frustrating because from the perspective of someone who doesn't really read manga or watch or light novels or stuff like that, I haven't really gotten into the written part of it. But it's bro, that's that's like releasing a show without English subtitles. It's why you gotta do me dirty like that?
I know.
Why? And auto translate is not gonna do a good job. You in theory could copy paste into Google Translate, but that's not fun.
It's not fun. It removes the immersion. I have to take myself out of it, and even if I did learn if I said, okay, I'll brute force my way through. Yeah, I would have to for every kanji I don't recognize, I have to stop reading, translate it, try maybe write it or some shit like that so I can memorize it. I don't know, and then go again, have a go, and it just take away so much. And I understand. I'm just throwing a tantrum. Just learn the language that it was, intentionally made for. I understand that, and that is why I would like to learn Japanese now. That is why I would like to, maybe not force myself, but put myself more into gear.
It's hard though, because, people are like, oh, just learn Japanese. Do you know how hard it is to learn a different fucking language? And especially one that has, 3 different writing structures. You have kanji, which is used in Chinese.
Kanji means Chinese character. That's what it means.
But it's used differently in Chinese than it is in Japanese, and so
there's different readings even in Japanese. And then there's hiragana, katakana. It's like, fuck. And then Japanese has their own words for their own things because of course they do, because they're a language and they have the ability to do so and they should do so. Fuck! But I will do it. I will do it, Zach. I'm going to do it. I may not be able to speak it, but I want to be able to read. That's my main thing. I want to be able to read. And I know speaking will help a lot, but that's not my focus. I don't care too much about reading or about speaking.
I'd love to be able to learn how to read too.
Yeah. I'm gonna put myself into gear. I'm gonna do it. I got to know more about the Assassin's Pride manga, to keep reading it, to be able to recognize a language of, anime, my favorite thing ever. And I don't know. So I can do more than just say I enjoy a culture for the very, very minuscule things I know about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be able to just walk around. I can walk around Japan and just be like, read everything and speak to the natives and such, That's not the point. I just want to be able to read what I want to read and do it reasonably well. Enough to, if I were to read a very sad chapter or something of a manga, I could experience emotion.
That is actually such an interesting distinction, because like there's a difference between reading something and understanding it. And like if you can get pulled in and get like emotionally invested and have that type of reaction to something that you're reading, especially in a different language that you're learning, I think that's like a solid goal to have.
It's gonna be hard though, but
yeah.
And it's gonna take a long time, like a very long time. But I want to be able to do it. I truly do. Because yeah, bro, that's so fucked. That's so fucked.
I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like slowly losing steam.
You drink all your Jafil?
It's almost empty.
Take a last swig.
Oh God. Oh God.
Where we're at? Hour 13. There we go. So, bless you. So, oh jeez. What do you want to talk about, Zach? Trying to wrap it up. I feel like it's too short, Zach. We need a little more. We need more substance.
We need more onions.
We need more onions, Zach. What's been on your mind recently, Zach? What are some? I've talked about some things that I wanted to talk about. What are some things you want to talk about, Zach? What's piqued your interest recently? Anything about anime, about life, about things?
I mean, obviously, I started season 2 of Demon Slayer, even though I knew that you wanted to watch it with me. I was like, I saw it. At
this point, I think it'll be difficult because I said I want to get caught up by Sunday, which is when it airs, and which according to my coworker, she thinks that with how the last episode went, it'll most likely be the last episode. Which means, okay, well, fuck it. I'll watch all of it by Sunday and then watch the final episode. And I don't think with our 3-episode rule, we'll be able to make it because you have to work and then I have to work. So it would be rough. So I think we'll have to watch it separately.
Which is unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. But I mean, we can still talk about it, so it's all good. No worries.
Yeah, I think what we could do is after I'm done with it, because I'm obviously going to take a little longer than you because you're going to watch it in a couple days. And I want to, enjoy it.
Yes.
A little bit.
Please do.
But yeah, I think as far as anime goes, like that's been like the only real development. And like, I don't know, man. I've been kind of boring lately. Like,
no, that's okay. I don't do anything either.
This is one of 2 outings that I've had in the last like 4 days, just outside of work. Because
Zach, you're trying to tell that to me? I don't leave my damn house. Last outing I went was like last month.
No, we went to go see Spider-Man.
Oh, we did go to see Spider-Man. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Well, no, I'm used to kind of like running around like a crazy person doing stuff. So I was kind of cooped up in my house, and so I slept a lot.
You did, and good for you.
Yeah,
You need to sleep, Zach. You need to sleep more often. That's good.
but that takes time away from other things. But yeah, that I haven't really been too interesting lately. I'm counting down the days until I get my tattoo, which is
That's right.
on the 19th. So
Almost. We
Almost.
got another 2 or so weeks, I believe.
I think it's a week from Friday.
Ooh. Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that it doesn't get rescheduled or anything like that, because I've already, it was supposed to be in January.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? Happens, It's just
Yeah.
kind of how it goes right now. Did you hear it, by the way, Zach? It's been a while since we had a cabbage update. Apparently, pretty soon, I think as early as March, Oregon is thinking of mask off indoors.
That sounds like a very poor life choice.
So we already seen how that went before, and that didn't go very well. Now, my stance on the matter has not necessarily changed, but it's been adjusted slightly. So I still personally am afraid of it, but I recognized one thing, and it's that it's just gonna be daily life. I think unless you can feel however way you want about vaccinations, that's not what this argument is. If you want to get vaccinated, sure, do it. If you don't want to get vaccinated, understand what's going to come of that. That's all I have personally to say about it. It's okay. So the thing about the mask now that we've learned more about the situation that the world is in, what's going to happen, I think, is that I don't want to agree. I hate that I agree with this. I'm going to say I agree with it. I agree the stance. I agree what they're proposing as to their why they are doing what they are doing. I agree with this because what they're basically, or I don't know if this is their reason, but this is the reason that I'm interpreting, is that we just got to do it, and we just have to live with it. If you get it, if you get it, then it basically it'll just be like the flu.
Yeah.
It'll just be another flu shot. It'll be another yearly shot that we have to take. It will have,
Right.
Or bi-yearly or whatever that may be, it will just exist in our lifetime until, obviously they'll continue working on some sort of permanent cure, obviously. Whatever that may be, who knows? But until then, it's just, we're not getting anywhere at this rate. And obviously when this happens, and let's say the whole country of the United States goes mask off again, cases are going to skyrocket.
Right.
Obviously, it's just what it's going to be. But what does that, it's just going to have to happen. And then we deal with that. And then as we continue dealing with over time, we'll kind of reach some sort of not decline. Decline is not the right word. So a flattening,
Like
plateauing.
a plateau, yeah.
Of cases. And it's not pretty, and we know what the effects will be, but it's just like, and I'm going to say it, I'm going to say the thing, and this is my opinion. I'm not a person to take sides ever, but it's my opinion. If you choose not to get vaccinated, that's your choice. You will reap the consequences, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to take your mask off. You're going to not get vaccinated. You and the people around you will be affected by it directly, and we're just going to have to sit here and deal with that for decades to come. Because as we've explained before, when things like, I don't know, world pandemic breakouts happen, it doesn't take like a year or two. It takes a while.
Yeah.
It takes a handful of years, maybe a decade. We read in the history books, and although technology is fascinating and great, amazing nowadays, it's still, we can't just surgically transplant one life to one soul to another body. It's like,
Yeah.
we can't just Terminator someone yet.
Right.
It's.
I mean, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to elaborate kind
Sure,
of
sure.
off of because
Yeah, what do you think?
you and I kind of look at it from a similar perspective of like, I don't think it would be fruitful for us to just sit here and wait until like something changes, because we've been in this for almost 2 years now, and not a whole lot has changed. And so the idea of going mask off and kind of being as proactive with it as like the flu or anything like that, I think that that's like the only way that we're going to be able to eventually get rid of it. Well, not even get rid of it, but continue life with it.
Right. I think that's going to be the main takeaway. The main takeaway is we continue life with it.
Right.
It's a little hard to think about, but I mean, if you think about it, we're doing it right now with the flu already, and other types of diseases flying around,
Yeah. And also, like you said, a global outbreak of anything is not just going to go away in like 4 weeks, like what they said it was initially going to be. And, I guess kind of regardless of how much technology has evolved, there's still going to be that period of time where we need to figure it out, because it's something that we've never had to deal with before. And hence the reason why we had the outbreak, hence the reason why we had the quarantine and the mask mandates and all of that kind of stuff. It's just kind of like, we're just kind of trying to figure it out as we go along. And so now we're at the point where it's kind of like, well, we've done the mask mandates, we've done the quarantine, we've brought out vaccines and boosters. Seems like everything's kind of the same. So, what else is there that we could potentially do other than just let it level out over the course of time? Because, unlike the Spanish flu, or it's similar to the Spanish flu, but not as an extreme of an example, or like it's not comparable in severity. A lot of people died. A lot of people got sick. And then it just kind of leveled out.
Yeah.
And that's a very, very morbid way to think about it. But also at the same time, there's only so much that we can do at this point other than just kind of let it run its course and just kind of go from there. Because, it's been 2 years. The cases have obviously gone down, but not enough to where it's like showing progress, like it doesn't look like we're making a huge development in either direction. And so it's like, what options do we have really at this point? Like that's kind of the disheartening thing. And I mean, that's outside the fact that, we are poking the bear, and the bear is Russia. Dude, that's so fucking scary. Like, and I'm not even going to get into the politics of that, because it's a mess. But
I don't even know it.
Huh?
I don't even know it.
It's a shit show, and I have the
Beautiful.
Unfortunate honor of knowing way too much information about it, because my dad watches the news all the time, and I'm just around.
Fair.
So, the fact that, I mean, if you look at it from an outside perspective, it's like, oh yeah, there's a global pandemic going on, and it's been going on for almost 2 years. Also, this is the second time in said 2 years that we're getting close to going into another world war with another country. And this is also a time where, the economy is taking a shit because of said global outbreak. And there's been so many things that have been going on, just one after another, that it's like, dude, shit's going sideways.
Yeah.
But I know that even if it doesn't happen soon, we'll come to some type of normalcy, whether that's different from what it was before or not. I know that we'll be able to overcome it. because we've done it in the past and we can do it again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just heavy.
Yeah, it's bleak right now. Like it's
very bleak.
It's the future. I would say for the resolution, whether this be again something that we can return, like a lifestyle that we can return back to, or a new lifestyle that we have to adjust into. Whatever the resolution ends up being, it's going to be tough to swallow, I think, or rather, sorry, it'll be tough to get there. And I dare say I think we've reached the climax of which now we're entering the falling action, or do you think there's more to come? At least as far because go ahead and knock on the particle board, Zach, because which was really fucking hard to drill through, by the way. Anyways, nobody needs to know about that. Yeah. I feel a certain way about this whole pandemic, and the way I feel is fear, personally. Not just for me, but to those around me, to my family members that have been directly influenced by it, family members who have been indirectly influenced by it. I am afraid of it, frankly. I joke about how I never leave my house, but part of it is because I just don't like doing it. And that's not to judge anybody, It's not to say like I'm not judging you because you leave your house. I'm not judging my friends or my other friends and coworkers for leaving their house. I don't, me, if I would be a hypocrite because I'll leave my house to go to work.
Right.
And that doesn't help at all, even if I do wear a mask. So, but for me, I don't leave my house. One, because, I would love to hang out with friends, but I can't be fucking asked. Rather watch anime and read manga. I'm joking, by the way, but seriously, just kidding. But seriously, but at the same time, I genuinely am afraid. Sincerely, I am of what that could come to. So that's why. If my friends ever invite me, I'll say yeah, sure. But I will personally, sometimes I'll say no. Sometimes I would rather do other things, and sometimes I'd rather keep myself busy doing things here inside my studio, keep myself holed up in this cave, and continue working on it, and continue doing all sorts of things. And that lifestyle it's different, right? Some people, they want to socialize, they need to socialize in order to, stay sane, to which I say, you are fucking weird, but okay, sure did. But that's just me. I'm content with being on Twitter and talking with my online friends. I'm content with being on Discord and speaking to my IRL friends. I'm content with seeing some of my IRL friends every now and then. Mm-hmm. I'm content with my life right now, if this is what it needs to be. But I do recognize that change needs to happen. I recognize that. But I'm afraid of what that comes to. So frankly, for me personally, if this happens, I will still wear a mask, I think, depending on the situation. I think I personally would rather err on the side of caution until I know for sure, because frankly, we already tried it, Zach. Mm-hmm. We tried it already and it didn't work. And I don't know, maybe after a year or two of wearing just masks whenever I leave the house, what if I don't wear my mask and I get sick? Not just for cabbage, but I just get sick because that's what my immune system has been built into. I think I gotta do it. I gotta wear the mask. I think I'll wear it less often, but I think I still will do it personally. I'm not gonna judge anybody for not doing it. Unfortunately, I've been forced to not judge anybody for not doing it because I work in customer service in the great city of Vancouver, where if you wear a mask, apparently it's a political stance. So, not a safety concern. It's a political stance, of course, because we live in the great state of Washington and the great nation that is the United States of freedom and self-expression and independence.
Bro, I don't get why people are trying to find every single reason to divide each other.
Oh, you're a mask? You're a left wing, you're right wing? Dude, I don't even know what that fucking means. Shut the fuck up, dude.
Dude, I'm just trying to get pizza.
Dude, I was just walking down. I'm just grabbing my mail, bro. What the fuck? I'm at the mailbox. I'm in my pajamas. What the fuck? Fuck you, dude. Why are you're across the street from me with a megaphone. What is happening right now? You know, like,
who's really in the wrong here?
it's 6 a.m. Why are you doing this? I don't know.
It's just,
I don't let it get to me, because if I did let it get to me, then, you know, that I'm losing. Then I'm losing on their own turf. I just rather not join their turf to begin with. I live my own life the way I want to. You live your life the way you want to. I exist on Twitter for just being in the loop and self-expressing, not to force my own opinions on other people. And, you know, there is a divide, and well, frankly, there's multiple divides, and it's rough. And, you know, I just really wish that if you just want to wear a mask, you wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, you don't wear a mask. It's not a political stance. It's not what, you know, that fun lady I mentioned before, who I told them to wear a mask, and they said, no, this is segregation, you know?
I remember that.
Yeah, I just don't want that to be, if she, you know, these days I'm not allowed to tell people to wear a mask, and that's just kind of how it is. I would like people to, but it is what it is, and I'm not asking the, see, when I know it's just a pointless argument, you know? It's pointless because I'm not going to get anywhere. I'm just one guy fighting against a nation that wants their own, that every single individual person wants their own individual solution. But what I'm just trying to say is, when I asked you to wear your mask, I'm not telling you to fight the government, or I'm not telling you to conform with the government. I'm just telling you, hey, you know, something's going on right now. It's for your safety and my safety. That's all it is. If you want to rip your fucking mask off after the fact, then you go ahead and do that. But you know, like, it's not like, you ever see like, this is so stupid, man. Why am I even saying this? But you ever just see like those videos of just, you know, folk walking around, maybe TikToks or videos of just folk walking around and, you know, just saying, look at all these sheep. Look at all these followers, these puppets, you know, of people wearing their masks to conform to their government. No, it's just, do you not recognize what's happening around the world right now? That's all it is.
Dude, okay.
Like, you know, that's all. I do not exist. Like, I understand, you know, like maybe vaccination. Sure. I understand how there's a bit, you know, government enforcing, you know, mandating. I understand how that inflicts on individuality. I understand that argument. Sure. I understand that side. My side of it, I will keep to myself. But I understand how that can be a political movement. Wearing a mask to protect yourself from you know, potentially causing your family to die, I don't know. I feel like that's not that's not I don't know. That's not conforming. That's just personal safety and safety for the people around you. That's what I think. That's all.
Right. And you know, the thing that frustrates me is people's inability to just suck it up and just do it. And I mean, like you said, for the vaccine, it's a little bit different, but for wearing a mask, and, you know, I am an asthmatic dude. I've had asthma my entire life. I wear a mask 12 hours a day, you know.
I know some people in the field who have to double mask. We talk with Christian, who has to double mask.
I have to double mask.
You have to double mask. You know, if you can't just walk around with your cock out, Zach, and say, this is my individuality. You can't tell me what to do. No, that's fucking stupid. Get the fuck out of here. Although I guess technically that's illegal, right? Public indecency. Is that a law? Or is that just a moral code? Let's say it's a law.
It's illegal for a reason.
It's illegal for a reason. But
common sense.
No, but the problem is, Zach, because that's illegal, and I'm not sure if it is or not. Let's just say, you know, whipping your cock out in public is illegal. Okay? Let's just say that. Okay?
God, I hope.
That's written on paper that you cannot do that. Because wearing a mask indoors is not written on paper for a law for every single person within the nation, then they're going to fight that. They're going to fight the fact that, you know, you shouldn't do that. They don't have to do that. And that's where the problem, that's the biggest issue I have, because you say common sense. There is no common sense in the court of law. If it's not written down, then you don't win your case. If I, you know, I don't want this to be political. I really don't. But it's just kind of how it is. You know, it's just what's written for me, okay? Just because it's written in law vaguely does not mean that it's right. Basically is what I'm saying. And, you know, that can be interpreted however way you want it to be. But the fact that it can be interpreted the way you want says that, hey, you know, maybe what's just written on paper doesn't necessarily mean that this is the right way. But it could be, maybe it is the right way. There's no justification. Bullying, Zach, that's not a law, but it's obviously bad. But how do you, you know, as we explained before, how do you quantify a person being a kid being a dick to another kid? There's no way to measure that. There's no quantification. There's no way. You see where this dilemma is.
Yeah.
Obviously, to a normal in my opinion, a normal, sane person, you would look at a situation like, say, bullying and say, that's fucked. That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't sue them, you can't take them to court because they're not infringing on anything.
So, you know, it really boggles my mind when you see those people who refuse to live by the 3 rules that any morally just person should live by. Treat people how you want to be treated. Don't be a dick. And
use your brain.
Yeah, there we go.
Use your brain.
It's even simpler
know.
than I was initially going to make it. You know, don't be a dick. Treat people how you want to be treated. Use your brain. Do the big thinkies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you got a noggin and you can use it to understand and process information. And just because you're understanding and processing information that you might not necessarily agree with, that doesn't make it wrong. And I think I figured it out.
What is it, Zach? Let's see it.
I did the big thinkies,
yes,
and I figured it out.
You used your brain. That was step 3.
Yes, I used my brain. I think that there are too many people that are not able to separate the analytical and the emotional side of their brain.
Mm-hmm.
And so they let one take over the other. And so when you're in a situation where you're very emotionally driven and you are unable to take a step away from that mentally and comprehend and digest the situation that you're in, then you're going to end up making poor decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's coming from somebody who has been in those types of situations before. Like, I've been there. I've made mistakes. I've been emotionally driven and have just made really shitty choices, right? And I've learned. And I understand that about myself, that if I really need to, I can take a step back and understand what is actually going on. But there are people in this world that are physically unable to separate their emotions from, I guess for lack of a better word, facts and information and the logical analytical side.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, the fact that people think that you are responsible, I'm responsible for your reaction to my actions.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense. You know, and I mean, to a certain extent, it's like, yeah, you know, if you rob somebody and they call the cops on you, obviously you're responsible for that reaction. Right. But like, as far as an emotional level, if I say something, you know, that ends up triggering the internet, but it's not anything just like fucked up, you know, like if I state the way that I feel about something, and you get all pissed off, and you're like, "Fuck you, Zach! You're a garbage human, and you know I hope you get buried 6 feet in the ground." Like, that is not my fault that you became emotionally invested in something that is just really fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just an endless cycle. It's like a snake eating its own tail. Like you see something posted online, and then you see just the absolute toxicity and volatility of the internet just absolutely destroying this man's life or this person's life, you know, and becoming so emotionally invested into something that has fucking nothing to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is one of the things that just makes me so upset. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, toughen up, buttercup. Like that,
Mm-hmm.
that's not the point that I'm trying to make.
Right.
I'm just trying to explain like it just does. And like I
see, here's the thing, right?
Okay, go ahead.
I understand what you're saying without you even saying it to me. Without you trying to, like, you're fumbling your words. You're trying to get this idea out of your mind, but it's not coming out into words because it's something more than words. It's this common sense and common logic. This idea of, you know, don't be stupid, don't be a dick. That's not a definition, but it's just an idea. It's a concept that you can't put into words because it cannot be put into words.
Don't be stupid.
Don't be. How can? Please don't meme me because, or don't finish this because I need to drive my point. Okay, don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it.
Okay.
What is love? Thank you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, but you see what I'm saying, right? How do you explain that to me in words? You don't have to because I know. Shut the fuck up, Zach. Don't do it because I'm being serious.
Okay.
I know what that means. I understand.
Right.
You know, but you see. Like movies and shows of like, and I've explained how much I love these of characters, maybe robots or something like that, where they learn about this thing called emotion, and it's not quantifiable at all.
Right.
What does it mean? How does not just love but the heart? How does that no game no life? How does that give willpower to someone who can, you know, defy odds? How can one feel a certain way about life, but then after they meet a certain person, their world around them changes?
Right.
How can you describe that into words? You can't. But you and I understand that because we're human. And that, or I would like to say we're human, but there are other humans who, this is the idea that I'm driving home. Is that while you are fumbling in your words trying to explain your point, I understand it 100%. But some people may not. Some people may have zero fucking clue what you're trying to say. Like, what are you talking about? That makes no sense at all. But to me, that makes perfect sense. And that's the problem. Is because they can't think for themselves unless it's written down and put in front of their face.
Right.
They cannot express this critical thinking and this problem solving in their brain to digest and evaluate. They have to be fucking told what needs to be done, what has to be done. And don't tell me no bullshit of like, no, you know, I feel this way about this and I feel that way about that. No, you don't, because you don't know unless the opposing situation was written down and shown to your face, and you disagreed with that. You couldn't just take a step back, looked at without even looking up anything, and gave your opinion on it.
Right.
And said, what do you think? Without knowing the side of one side or the other, without knowing the logistics, without knowing anything about that. Zach, if I this has happened, if there's a kid and he slaps me in the face, and I say, what the, and I slap him back, and he cries, and I'm in trouble.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
That doesn't make any sense. Obviously, you know, I don't go around slapping kids, you know, like I don't go around ground pounding kids because it's like, get fucked, nerd. You know, no, I don't. I get absolutely fucking wrecked, kid. You know, I don't do that.
Right.
But so this happened to my younger cousin, and this happened a while ago, but the point I wanted to draw was he was a snotty kid, you know, and he's very spoiled. He gets what he wants. He cries whenever he's angry. You know, I mean, to be fair, I understand. You know, younger, you know, toddlers, babies, they cry because they can't express words and yet blah blah blah. I get it, but you know, but he's a spoiled little shit. Mm-hmm. So I'm just and this still to this day, whenever I babysit them, I treat them like they would be in the real world if they cry if they tantrum, if they get physical with me. If they try and do these things, if you hit me really hard, if you take a stick and a toy sword and smack me in the stomach with it, I'm gonna take a similar stick, a similar sword, and smack you with it. Because what they know is that I'm going to create this thing, and I'm not going to get or I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to be right. Nothing else is wrong. This is okay. I am correct. You are not correct. I'm going to smack you for the fuck back. And when this happens, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to react. Of which case, they create a scene. Does this sound familiar, Zach? Oh, it sounds like Twitter. Anyways, they tantrum, they throw a scene, they get other people involved, and they antagonize the other party. But me, as someone who got hit with a stick, at no point did I antagonize you. Did I protagonize myself? Did I create any sort of enemy or anything? Mm-hmm. All I did was return the favor. All I did was show you this is what you caused, and this is going to be what's going to happen. That's all I did. I never said you're an enemy. I never said you were in the wrong. I never said I was in the wrong. I never said anybody was in the right. All I did was show you this is what's going to fucking happen.
Every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Right.
Physics.
I never took a physics class, and I understand that.
I know. Okay, so when I said I'm not responsible for the reaction of, or like I'm not responsible for your reaction to my actions.
No, that I was supposing a different example.
No, yeah. I know, but like when it comes to things that I say, the way that I feel about things, mm-hmm. that was what I was trying to say.
Right.
I'm not sitting here being like, yeah, I'm just gonna go gut punch a small child because I'm an asshole.
I never gut punch a small child. I slapped him in the face because he deserved it.
That's fair.
Little shit.
But the
Go ahead.
I'm trying to level my head. Just gotta take a couple deep breaths. Let's just take a quick.
Take a.
Okay. All right. Goosefraba. Okay. It is impossible to explain why there are people out there who believe that they can do whatever they want with no consequences. It is impossible to explain why there are people out there who think that no matter how wrong they are, if they make a big enough scene, then they'll be right. It just doesn't, my brain cannot wrap my head around that. But there was a good thing that I thought of when you were talking about smacking children.
Yes, of course, as I do.
As you do.
As one might.
As one might. So I think about the parts of our brain, left brain, right brain, analytical, and like, you know, the memory things, like your phone.
I am the right brain.
I am the right brain. Or, I like Oreos. Anyway.
And pussy. Okay.
Everything has to have a balance.
Oh, God. Yeah,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Balanced as all things should be. But if you end up leaning too...
I understood that reference.
So if you end up leaning too far in one direction, things will get fucky wucky. If you spend if you expend all of your energy when you're having a conversation with someone trying to convince them that they are right and you are wrong, you're not going to fucking get anywhere.
Yeah.
I've had conversations with those people. I've been in that situation where it's just like they're sitting there trying to tell me how I'm an idiot because I think about things a certain way. And I don't know if it's just that I have a very over analytical mentality when it comes to just life things.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about it in the most simplistic way possible, just, you know, like we said, common sense, which is no longer common. You think, oh, if I throw my phone off of the roof and it breaks, duh. If
Duh.
fucking duh.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, and
understand.
if you're just like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go up to the biggest, most swole guy at the gym and just sucker punch him in the face, you are going to get your cheeks clapped by this 7 foot tall, 350 pound hunk of muscle and meat because you didn't think about the fact that he's probably not going to be too keen on the fact that you just sucker punched him in the face. And so now he's going to ruin your fucking day. And like, you know, that's kind of like, I'm fully aware that I could ruin someone's day with words. I'm aware that I have the capability to do that. Trauma! But, you know, like, I'm aware of that. And I could be the type of person that just runs around just wreaking havoc and just telling people all of the horrible, horrible things about them, you know, and just like
about their family,
about their family,
their mom.
Yeah. You know, telling a kid that I'm gonna fuck his mom and become his new stepdad. You know, it's like I could ruin someone's day if I wanted to, but I don't. And if you, not you, but hypothetical, I'm pointing at other chair now. If you decide that you want to antagonize me, and if you expect me to not ruin your day, well then you're a silly goose because I will ruin your day. Not out of nowhere. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. But the only time that does not apply is when it comes to the way that you feel internally, all up in your feelies about anything. I said this before when we were talking about controversial things. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one and they all stink.
That they do.
That they do. So when you're going through life, you know, you learn things and you feel a certain way, you feel compelled to act a certain way, or you feel compelled to take a side on certain things, and then you meet someone like me who may be on the opposite side of the spectrum from you when it comes to the way that they feel about things. That doesn't mean that I'm right. That doesn't mean that you're right. That doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. That doesn't mean that I'm doing anything wrong. We're just guys being dudes, doing our thing. Like, you do you, boo-boo, you know? But the second it turns into like a dick measuring contest of who is right and who is wrong, the argument is already lost. Like, the second that you become emotionally invested into an argument and the second that you end up reacting solely out of emotion, you've already lost. And I feel like that's an idea and an ideology that is not common.
It's not.
And I'm not going to sit here and judge anybody because it's like I said,
right.
You do you, boo-boo.
See, the thing is, right, we're saying all this and it sounds like we're antagonizing this group of people that we're saying.
Right.
And the truth is, although we are saying what we are saying, we're not antagonizing you. Well, if you took offense and you are of this crowd, that feels this way, about, I don't know, the masks and stuff, who feels this way about freedom of speech and stuff and all that type of thing. And it hit you cold. It hit you cold in the heart, and you feel the need to get upset about it. And you're saying, why would you say that about me? Well, I'm, why, what do you do? Why are you antagonizing me? I never antagonized you. All I did was say what's happening. All I did was, acknowledge how you feel, relate that to how I feel, and say what that would mean. If I tell someone to wear a mask, I'm not antagonizing them. I know they really want me to antagonize them. They really want me to tell them that I'm infringing on their freedom. I'm infringing on their expression. I'm infringing on how they want to feel individually. No. I'm just asking you to do something. And if you can't, that's compliant with the rules of our store, our business. If I have a store that says no shirt, no service, and you come up and say, hey, I'm not gonna wear my fucking shirt. It's my freedom to not wear my shirt. Yeah, it is, but you can't do it inside this establishment. You can leave.
Right.
That's, and then, if you go to a library, Zach, and you start fucking shouting when they're in the library, there's a sign that says, no loud noises, whispering only, that type of stuff.
Right.
Let's say there was a rule, like there's a sign that says, under the premise of this establishment, you are not allowed to, let's even say you are not allowed to reach above this X number of decibels. Let's even say that, Zach.
Yeah.
Let's say that. And someone who comes in and starts screaming. I feel like I said that word, screaming, right?
Yeah.
At the top of their lungs. Librarian goes, bro, what is happening? Are you okay? First of all, are you okay? Do I need to call someone? And then they're like, no, I'm good, bro. Okay, can you please keep it down? You're in a library. We have this rule. Can you please, maintain it? And they're like, no, it's my freedom to speak however way I want. It's my freedom to do however I please, as long as it's not hurting anybody. Let's say they throw that bone in there. And the librarian goes, yeah, sure. But under this establishment, we have rules, and you can't shout, yell. You can't even reach this decibel. Yes, you do have these freedoms. Yes, this is true. We live in this nation, this free nation, of which you can express the way you want to. But you can't fucking shout in here, man. It's a library. We have a rule. So you need to, you need to leave this establishment so that you can, scream your heart out. Whatever, do it.
Yeah. There's a reason why certain places have rules.
Yeah.
It's to maintain order and to make sure that it's not just a mad, that it's not a shit show.
If there's a rule in my job, and there is, let's say, don't have your phone out while you work. Oh, but it's my phone. It's my property. It's my freedom to use my own phone that I bought.
But I'm also paying you to be here to do a job. So if you want to get paid to be here to do said job, then you're going to have to, follow our rules. And there are some rules that are made that are just kind of stupid, but they are there for a reason. And, it's not like you have never had to follow rules before. In recess, you're not allowed to just throw fucking hands with little Susie because she won't be your Valentine. That's not how that works. You can't choose violence just because someone doesn't like you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing. I would go as far as to say, if you just live your life with the same type of mentality and with the same rules as elementary school recess, I think you'll be okay.
That's a good point. I like that. I like that. If you can, have elementary school recess and not be called on by the recess teachers, as we called them, you'll probably be okay in life. But if you can't do that, if you really have to be stopped by a elementary school recess teacher, you should probably evaluate some things. You should probably evaluate your morals a little bit. Maybe watch some Fresh Prince or something. I don't know, dude. Like, think about life a little bit differently. Think about what your cause and effect of other people with you and other people may be. And I want to wrap this up. I really do, because it's like, we're talking to a wall, We're not getting anywhere by stating what, frankly, what we are saying sounds right, but it's not, because it's not written anywhere. We're technically on paper wrong. But the problem is we're neither right or wrong. It's just what I wished I could say, the common sense of human beings. That's but it's not written down, so it cannot be right.
I would say the frustrating thing for me, and I know that you want to wrap this up, and I do too, because we've gone to a place that is very we're getting close to that line,
Yeah.
And like Arthur was saying, and I can reiterate this as well, we are not trying to antagonize anybody. We're not trying to push an agenda or anything like that. We're just stating the way that we feel about things. And just because we have microphones and cameras, that doesn't mean that it gives us any more power than anybody else.
No, not at all.
This I would say is like a safe space for us to be able to talk about the things that we want to.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's no judgment. And if you feel compelled to start beef in the comment section, I would highly encourage you to not do that. Because we're not going to participate in that. It's not something worth fighting over, just because we decided to sit down and have a conversation that started with anime and now we're here for some fucking reason. It's like I feel like you and I can both agree that just because we're having this conversation does not mean that we're trying to convince anybody of anything.
Even if we didn't agree with each other.
Right.
Even if you and I were on different, and I'm sure even within this field, we still have some parts that we may oppose of each other.
Right.
Some areas. Maybe. Let's just say we do. I'm sure we do. But, since we're speaking generally, we're not coming to that. But maybe there are some things that you agree that I disagree, and I agree that I agree and you disagree. So if we sat here and bickered back and forth about it, we wouldn't get anywhere, because I have this level of right and you have this level, or this level of right and wrong, and you have this level of right and wrong, and and it's not moving up or down. It's just even.
Right.
We're just there's no case to be made. There's no argument to be won. It's just you feel your way, I feel my way. That's not going to change.
So as I've gotten older, and this will really be the last thing.
Yeah.
As I've gotten older, I've made it a challenge for myself to sit down and have a conversation with someone about anything. It could be politics, it could be religion, it could be anything controversial. And at the end of that conversation, I want to ask them, what side politically do you think that I'm on? And they could say, I don't know. I want to be able to convey information in a way that has absolutely no political bias, or seemingly no political bias. Or, I want to be able to talk to people in such a way to where it is just based off of information that I have learned throughout my life. Mm-hmm. And that's it. There's nothing else to it. That's it. Like, I think that is the best goal that you could have. Is a conversation is not a confrontation. It is just an exchange of information. And you're right. There are things that I disagree with that you were talking about, and, whatever. But it's just a conversation. We're just exchanging information here. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. Mm-hmm. You're not trying to convince me of anything. There's no point in trying to compare notes and see who's right, because if you do that, then you're both fucking wrong. That's really all I have to say about that without going down a fucking rabbit hole, because that's just how I am, I guess.
Well, the reason why neither of us would be right if we were to, like you said, compare our notes or whatever, is because we're trying to compare our notes, or even compare my argumentative paper to your argumentative paper on a prompt that is vague and has no answer.
Right.
On an open-ended prompt. On a prompt that isn't even a yes or no question.
Right.
You can't answer a yes or no question, or you can't answer a question that's not yes or no with yes or no. But we both are trying to fight a yes or no.
Yeah.
You know, and to be fair, you know, that's, you know, debate and stuff, and there's all that type of things where they do actual debate and actual real understanding of their, you know, their given situation, and actual logical exchanging of information of which to persuade a party, you know, properly. That's not what this is. This is where we have a situation, a prompt, if you will, that has no right or wrong answer. There is no fact that is driven to what this prompt is meant to be. But we have to answer this non-yes or no question with yes or no. Let's say you're yes and I'm no. Who is right? Nobody is right, because it's not a yes or no question.
Right.
That's what's happening. And unfortunately, that's what people think. People think, okay, if you are yes, what's that? If you choose yes or no, does that mean you're being individualistic? Does that mean you're being free to your freedom of? Does that mean you're expressing your freedom of speech to your own accord uniquely? No, you picked a side. You picked a collective side. What you explained, Zach, of how you feel about if we were, let's say, to talk about something or a political thing, I suppose, and you asked what I thought you were, and I said I don't know, right? That thing that you just mentioned. That is true individualism. That is true freedom, true uniqueness of, you know, that embodies what it means to be a human being. Not to pick a side,
Right.
Not to say what's right or wrong, to say what you think is right, what you think is wrong, and that's it. You don't try and convince someone that an opinion is right, because it's an opinion. You can use facts to support your opinion, but it's an opinion at the end of the day.
Right.
If I don't like mushrooms and you like mushrooms, do you like mushrooms?
No.
Okay. What do you like? Cauliflower? Broccoli?
Broccoli.
Broccoli? I like broccoli though. Fuck.
Fuck.
Let's say, okay, you don't like mushrooms. I love mushrooms.
Okay.
Okay? Who's right?
Neither of us.
Neither. You see where I'm...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, I think that is the simplest I can ever boil it down to. I think I did it. I've done it, Zach. I've gone and done it. That is the simplest I can boil this down to. If you like pepperoni pizza and I don't like pepperoni pizza, which one of us is right? Whose side do you join? You don't join a side. There are no sides. It's just you and me. This guy over here likes Hawaiian pizza. Guy over here likes spinach and artichoke. Guy
Right.
over there likes
Classic cheese, baby.
cheese, you know?
Yeah.
If I like pepperoni and you don't like pepperoni, guy next to me likes pepperoni, does that make you all of a sudden wrong out of majority?
That just means that, you know, you can...
That just means we're two dudes who like pepperoni. That's it.
I mean, here's something too. It's like, even when I'm getting food from like anywhere, if there's something that I don't like that's like on a burger, then I have the option to ask them to not put it on the burger. Or here's an idea: I could get a different burger. that doesn't have said thing that I don't like on it.
Or here we go. You have a burger and it has some things you don't like on it. So instead of getting another burger or asking for something or asking to remove that from the burger, you get mad at the establishment. We're saying, why would you put this on my burger? How dare you? How dare you put tomatoes on my burger when I don't like tomatoes? When I'm allergic to tomatoes? When my dad died because he choked on a tomato.
If they don't know. See, okay, I'm being serious about this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That sounds so funny that what I just said. I'm sorry.
If you are living your life under the impression that everyone knows the same thing that you know, then you're going to be set up for disappointment like every day. If you go to a restaurant and you expect them to know that you are lactose intolerant, for example, they would give you a fat old cheese pizza with that good old mozzarella. And you're like, what the fuck is this? I'm lactose intolerant. And then the person, the 18-year-old who's making $12.50 an hour is going to sit there and be like, I didn't fucking know that. Why didn't you tell me that? And then
they go, well, how dare you speak that way to me? Or how dare you not know?
Yeah. How am I supposed to know something about you that you didn't tell me? Because like, I don't know you, dude. Like, I don't know anything about you. I
don't even know your name.
I don't even know your name. I just know what table you're sitting at. I barely know that. You know, if you don't know something about someone and you step over a line or you do something that they are not too fond of, it is not your responsibility to feel bad about that.
If you, you can't, if you slept on someone's personal landmine, it's not your fault, you know?
Yeah.
You didn't know, they put that there. That was a trap. And you did it. And now there's just this situation. And then, and you're like, oh, fuck, and you feel bad. Maybe it's something you feel bad about, but you shouldn't feel bad about it, because it's their fault for not telling you. It's their fault for not telling you, hey, I put this mine there.
Hey, by the way, there's dog shit in the lawn. Also, by the way, we said we were going to end the episode like 10 minutes ago.
Sorry.
But to wrap it up, I keep hitting my mic. I'm sorry. To wrap it up in a nice little gift box to give. Be a good person. Treat people how you want to be treated. Do the big thinkies. And there's so much that you can learn from the world and from the people around you if you're able to put your emotions in the back seat and just let them tell you more. And there's so much that you can learn from people when having conversations about things that they probably don't want to talk about. Like controversial things and everything like that. And there's so much information out there that if you go throughout life just wanting to learn more, then I think that you will set yourself up to be happy. And I think that that's all I got. That's the bow.
Fine. And if you don't like mushrooms, you don't like mushrooms. I don't like mushrooms. I don't like mushrooms. If you like mushrooms, then you like mushrooms. That's all it is. But if you like this video, you can hit the like button, you can subscribe, and you can check out our Patreon or Coffee if the Patreon's ready, and you do all that sorts of stuff. Follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, other things. And that's all I got for y'all. You have anything to say, Zach?
I don't want to talk anymore because I feel like the episode's just going to keep going. So,
all right, then that's all. Goodbye.